Hey guys, it's Bobby Legs and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches. Today I am excited to present to you the Seiko SNJ025. It is also nicknamed the Arnie. It is actually a reissue of the original Arnie, the 1982 diver, the hybrid diver that came out, like I said, 1982, and nicknamed the Arnie because Arnold Schwarzenegger wore that watch in a couple of his movies, Commando and The Predator, and it became a cult classic. Let's get into the specs before I give you my thoughts on the watch. We'll start off with the case diameter. It's a 47.8 millimeters. Now we're talking from here to here on the plastic shroud. This is a tuna style diver from Seiko. Then you have a 14.4 millimeter case thickness, a 51.3 lug to lug width is 22 millimeters. It is powered by the caliber H851, which is a solar caliber. It's got a 6-month power reserve when fully charged. It is 200 meters water resistance, meets the ISO diving standards. Lumibright applied on the hands and the markers, 120 click bezel, and with typical Seiko fashion, sort of lines up the bezel insert and the chapter ring. As you can see, it is a analog digital watch, and what the cool thing about this movement is that they're linked. So you won't see any discrepancy in the time. These two, the analog and the digital, are linked together. Another cool feature is, well, there's a whole lot of cool things going on here with these pushes here. You have this light up LCD screen, obviously, and to make sure that the watch is fully water resistant, you counterclockwise turn this the screw down on the pusher here, and that will make sure that you have that full water resistance. When you want to use the pusher, you see this little black line here kind of appears, and that tells you that you are a go. And then if you hold this down, you should be able to get the battery life. So it says BAT 10, and 10 is pretty much at full charge. Let's cycle through here some of the features. You have a date, so Thursday the 9th. This is a second time zone, which you can keep track of. It's independent of what's going on here in the dial. You have your stopwatch here, and an alarm, and your date, and your current time, sorry. And so if you want to change the time, it's a little bit different than what we're accustomed to. You unscrew, that's the same, and then you pop it. Once you feel that pop, you could pull it. Now, let's go back, sorry. Let's change the minute. So here, you change the minute, and then you push down, and there, it moved. Pretty neat, right? Let's do that. Let's do the same with the hour. Let's do 2 o'clock in the morning. Push it down, and there it goes. Pretty sweet, right? I mean, I think that's really, really neat, especially for this price point. This is the MSRP on this watch is $525, but you can probably do a whole lot better. I got this for just under $400 on Amazon, and it turns out that I pulled the trigger a little too early because this past weekend Macy's had this on sale for $315. So if you're patient, you can find some really good deals. It comes with this silicone strap that is extremely comfortable, has a metal keeper, which some people don't like. It really hasn't bothered me at all. and then the case back here. Seiko diver's watch, 200-meter water resistance, stainless steel. Yeah, so really cool watch. Um, Now I gotta tell you, like, I've been in the market for a solar watch. I kind of like the technology, or at least in my collection, I wanted to, you know, cast a wide net with the kind of watches that I have, brand diversity and different types of movements and whatnot. And so, I already have the quartz with the Casio G-Shock. I have automatic watches, manual wind watches, and I always wanted to add a solar to it just because I thought it would be neat to add one. And so this one, I picked this up on a recommendation from a buddy of mine who was really into this watch, and he suggested that I get it to review. And to be honest, I was feeling a little burnt out by Seiko, for the last like 6 months. Did not know if I wanted to add a Seiko to my collection. It's just a phase, who knows? I mean, it's just what I feel temporarily now. But I got this watch, and I pretty much, think it's going to be a part of the collection. And I was softened a little bit. A few months back, Chris over at the Watch Lounge lent in a solar patty, and I never had tried on a patty before. I'm sorry, a patty tuna. I never tried on a tuna before, and I thought, my preconceived notion was that it was going to be just too big, and that I realized that solar patty tuna is a little bit smaller than the other tunas, but it fit really well. Now this one is, by the stats, by the specs wise, is a much bigger watch than that one, and so I had a little apprehension as well. But I got to tell you, it fits pretty well on wrist, and I'll give you a wristwatch shortly. This watch is deceptively. Well, we're measuring out here, right? We're measuring the shroud, and that's 47, and that's a big number for a guy with a 6 3/4 inch wrist. But really, optically, I'm more focused in here, so it doesn't seem as big. So when I was putting this watch in my watch box, I like to order my watches by size, going from small to large, and I automatically put this at the end next to my Panerai. But then when I put it next to my Panerai, well, my Panerai is like a 43 or 44 mil case, and I know it's got the crown guard and whatnot, but I feel like the Panerai was a little bit bigger. So then I slid this down next to my Girard Perregaux Seahawk, and then I was like, wait a second, this watch feels smaller than this watch, and there's not a lot of real estate here on the dial, and then whatever it is, it's pretty cramped. So that might give you the illusion. Here it is up against my Black Bay 40, Black Bay 58, and so now we're getting a little bit closer here now, size-wise. At least the illusion of it is. And here is this Invicta Pro Diver, almost the same. So look, I mean, there are a couple things about this watch that I'm not crazy about. It is a little busy here, especially up top with the hour markers, but that's because this digital screen, LCD screen up here, LCD lighted screen is kind of taking up some space, and I'm okay with that. I also thought that the bezel was kind of the insert was kind of a little bit strange. I felt like this arrow pip up top here, the 12 o'clock it almost feels like it was cut a little bit short. Here's an SKX insert that I removed from an SKX that I was modding, and you could see like the bezel insert, it looks like they just chopped off ever so slightly on the Arnie, the inner part of the bezel, so you don't really get like a full bezel. It just struck me as a little weird. But honestly, those are the only two things that I could think of. Like I really struggle to find some fault with this watch. Let me put it on and give you guys a wrist shot. Sorry, this is probably taking a little bit longer than it should. But it feels extremely comfortable. And you know, you definitely get a lot of presence, but it doesn't feel big. And it's extremely light, or lighter than I thought it would be. So it's very, very comfortable. The strap is also very comfortable. So it really doesn't feel like I got much on the wrist there, and it just sits ever so proudly on top. So yeah, you know, I'm pleasantly surprised by this. I knew I was gonna like it. I didn't know if I was gonna love it. I think I love it, and I think I'm gonna probably keep it at least for a while in the collection. Like I said, I like the idea of having different kinds of technologies in my watch collection, and having the solar, you know, kind of rounds everything out for me. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys have one of these? Um, will you be picking one up? Especially if it's on sale like it was on Macy's this past weekend. Anyway, please remember to like and subscribe if you like this video, and click on that bell icon. To get notifications when I upload videos. I love making these videos, and I hope you guys like them too. So have a good one, guys, and I'll see you soon.